Have you ever wondered how the Islamic Empire, one of the most powerful civilizations in history, came into existence? Picture the 7th century on the sandy expanse of the Arabian Peninsula. This was where the seeds of an empire began to grow. A humble yet charismatic man, Prophet Muhammad, emerged as a beacon of change. He preached a new religion, Islam, and his teachings, encapsulated in the Holy Quran, inspired and united tribes. This set the groundwork for an empire. With our prophet's passing, the empire didn't falter. Quite the opposite, it surged forward, expanding at a pace that was nothing short of extraordinary. From the Arabian Peninsula, it reached out to as far as Spain and India within just 100 years. This swift expansion wasn't driven by conquest alone, but by the unprecedented unity forged through shared religious beliefs. An empire was born not out of the ambitions of a single ruler, but from the collective faith of its people. The Islamic Empire began humbly, growing rapidly as it was fueled by faith. What made the Islamic Empire truly remarkable was not just its size, but its golden age. Picture a world alight with knowledge, a period spanning from the 8th to the 14th century, known as the Golden Age of Islam. This was an era of unprecedented intellectual and creative activity. Scholars, scientists, and artists from various cultures and backgrounds came together to create, discover, and share knowledge. Diving into the scientific advancements of this era, it's astonishing to realize how much was achieved. Islamic scientists made groundbreaking discoveries in physics, chemistry, and astronomy. They developed the scientific method, laying the groundwork for all modern scientific inquiry. Mathematics saw significant leaps during this time with the introduction of algebra and the widespread use of Arabic numerals, which we still use today. Medicine flourished during the Golden Age of Islam. Physicians and scientists made significant strides in understanding the human body and diseases. They established the first hospitals, medical schools, and pharmacies, setting the standards for modern medical practices. The Golden Age was not just about science and medicine. The arts bloomed during this period as well. Poetry and literature thrived, with poets and authors crafting works that continue to inspire and captivate audiences to this day. Architecture, too, witnessed a renaissance, with awe-inspiring structures built that remain standing as testaments to the era's ingenuity and creativity. One of the crowning achievements of this period was the establishment of the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. In conclusion, the Islamic Empire was born from humble beginnings and grew rapidly, fueled by faith. Its swift expansion was driven not only by conquest, but by unity forged through shared religious beliefs. The Golden Age of Islam was a time of unprecedented intellectual and creative activity, which led to groundbreaking discoveries in various fields. This era was not just about science and medicine, but also about the arts, poetry, literature, and architecture. The Islamic Empire has left an indelible mark on history, and its legacy continues to shape the world we live in today.